Accede, to agree or consent to a request or demand. The country decided to accede to the treaty for peace. Activists, people who actively participate in campaigns or actions to bring about political or social change. The activists organized a protest to raise awareness about climate change. Aggrieve, to cause someone to feel distress or suffering, usually as a result of unfair treatment. The unjust decision by the employer aggrieved the employees. Ambient, relating to the immediate surroundings or environment. The ambient temperature in the forest was quite cool and pleasant. Amidst, in the middle of or surrounded by. The small village was nestled amidst the mountains. Analogous, similar in some way. Comparable, the behavior of the two species was analogous in many respects. Apportion, to divide or allocate something, such as resources or responsibilities, among several parties. The committee had to apportion the budget fairly among all departments. Arising, coming into existence or notice. Emerging, issues began arising as the project progressed. Ashore, towards or onto the shore, typically referring to the land near a body of water. The fishermen brought their catch ashore. Attributed, regarded as being caused by or originating from a specific source. The success of the company can be attributed to its dedicated employees. Bizarre, very strange or unusual in appearance, behavior, or character. The circus had a bizarre collection of performers and attractions. Bland, lacking strong flavor, character, or interest. Dull, the food at the cafeteria was rather bland and unappetizing. Breaches, violations or infringements, often of rules, laws, or agreements. The company's security breaches led to a data leak. Bustling, full of activity, noise, and energy. Busy, the bustling city never seemed to sleep. Cache, a hidden or secret store of something valuable. The treasure hunters discovered a cache of ancient artifacts. Cannibalism, the practice of eating the flesh of one's own species. Cannibalism is considered taboo in most cultures. Centralized, organized, or controlled from a single central point. The company's decision-making process was highly centralized. Clickbait, online content, such as articles or headlines, designed to attract clicks and views through sensationalism or misleading information. The clickbait title of the article did not accurately reflect its content. Coalition, a temporary alliance or partnership between groups or individuals for a common purpose. The political parties formed a coalition to win the election. Commemorating, honoring and remembering an event or person, often through ceremonies or tributes. The city held a parade for commemorating the national holiday. Communal, relating to or shared by a community or group. The communal garden was tended to by all the residents. Compose, to create or form something by putting together various elements. The musician needed to compose a new song for the album. Conceal, to hide or keep something secret. He tried to conceal his surprise when he saw the surprise party. Conform, to comply with established rules, standards, or norms. Employees must conform to the company's dress code. Congregation, a group of people gathered for religious worship or a similar purpose. The congregation filled the church for Sunday service. Constituent, a component or part of something larger. The various departments are constituents of the university. Convergent, moving or tending to move toward a common point of intersection. The convergent lines met at the center of the circle. Cope, to deal effectively with a difficult situation or challenge. She had to cope with the stress of her demanding job. Cosmopolitan, reflecting various cultural influences and characteristics from around the world. New York City is known for its cosmopolitan atmosphere. Deprivation, the state of lacking something that is necessary or desirable. The deprivation of sleep can lead to health problems. Delight, a high degree of pleasure or happiness. The children's faces were filled with delight at the sight of presents. Delinquent, failing to fulfill one's obligations or duties, often with a legal implication. The delinquent payments resulted in a penalty. Deployed, sent or positioned for a specific purpose, often referring to military or strategic placement. Troops were deployed to the border for security. Disparities, differences or inequalities, typically related to treatment, access, or opportunities. Social disparities can lead to economic inequality. Displaced, forced to leave one's home or usual place of residence. The refugees were displaced by the conflict in their country. Disorder, a state of confusion, lack of organization, or disruption. The classroom was in disorder after the students' playtime. Disintegrate, to break down or decompose into smaller parts. Over time, the old building began to disintegrate. Distinction, a clear difference or contrast between things. Her academic achievements set her apart and gave her distinction. Drawl, to speak slowly with a prolonged pronunciation of words. The Southerner had a noticeable drawl in his speech. Dropping out, to leave school or a course of study without completing it. Some students face challenges that lead to dropping out of college. Emergence, the process of becoming known, visible, or prominent. The emergence of a new technology revolutionized the industry. Emerges, comes into view or becomes apparent. The sun emerges from behind the clouds after the storm. Enclosure, an area that is sealed off or enclosed, often for protection or confinement. The wildlife enclosure at the zoo was very popular. Endow, to provide a person or organization with a gift or source of income. The wealthy philanthropist chose to endow the university with a large sum. Environmentally, in a way that relates to or affects the natural surroundings. The company adopted environmentally friendly practices. Ethnicity, the identification with and connection to a particular racial, national, or cultural group. The country has a diverse population with various ethnicities. Evade, to escape or avoid something, typically by using cunning or trickery. The criminal tried to evade capture by hiding. Exist, to have actual being, to be present or alive. All living creatures exist in the natural world. Exit, a way out or the act of leaving a place. The exit is located at the rear of the building. Extraneous, irrelevant or unrelated to the subject or matter at hand. The extraneous details only confuse the audience. Fames, the condition of being known or talked about widely, often as a result of celebrity. His fames as an actor brought him worldwide recognition. Forsake, to abandon or give up something, often a responsibility or a person. He would never forsake his family in their time of need. Formidable, inspiring fear or respect due to size, power, or ability. The army faced a formidable enemy on the battlefield. Fortified, strengthened or protected with defensive structures. The castle was heavily fortified against invaders. Grasp, to understand or comprehend something fully. She struggled to grasp the complex scientific concept. Gastronomy, the practice or art of choosing, cooking, and eating good food. France. Grottoids, small caves or natural underground chambers often found near water. The explorers discovered beautiful grottoids in the cave system. Halt, to come to a stop or cease moving. The construction work will halt during the winter months. Harboring, sheltering or providing refuge to someone or something. The remote village was known for harboring fugitives. Hefty, large and heavy in size or amount. Substantial, the suitcase was too hefty for me to carry alone. Herding, gathering and moving a group of animals, such as cattle or sheep, together. The herding dogs helped gather the sheep into the pen. Hitch, a temporary difficulty or obstacle. The project encountered a minor hitch, but it was quickly resolved. Elusive, deceptive or misleading. Giving a false impression, the elusive mirage in the desert fooled the travelers. Inception, the beginning or start of something. The inception of the Internet revolutionized communication. Incarnation, a person who embodies or represents a particular quality or concept. The actor was considered the incarnation of kindness. Insights, a deep understanding or perception of a complex situation or subject. Her insights into human behavior were impressive. Intellectually, in a manner related to intellectual or mental abilities, the seminar challenged participants intellectually. Intriguing, fascinating or interesting in a way that arouses curiosity. The mystery novel had an intriguing plot. Intangible, unable to be touched or physically grasped. Often referring to abstract concepts, love is an intangible but powerful emotion. Intellectual community, a group of individuals who engage in intellectual or academic pursuits. The university fosters an intellectual community of scholars. Intellectual pursuits, activities or endeavors that involve the use of intellectual abilities or knowledge. His intellectual pursuits included research and writing. Invade, to enter a place or domain aggressively or without permission. The enemy forces plan to invade the neighboring country. Leaping, jumping or springing forcefully from one point to another. The athlete executed a leaping jump over the hurdle. Leverage, to use something to gain an advantage or influence. The negotiator tried to leverage the company's strengths. Linger, to remain or stay in a place or condition, often longer than expected. The aroma of freshly baked bread lingered in the kitchen. Livelihood, the means of earning a living, one's occupation or job. Farming was the livelihood of many in the rural community. Maladaptive, behavior or strategies that are not effective or suitable for a given situation. His maladaptive coping mechanisms only worsened his stress. Mingle, to mix or combine different elements or people. The party was a great opportunity to mingle with colleagues. Methodology, a systematic approach or method for conducting research or achieving a goal. The scientist explained her research methodology. Metastasizing, the spread of a disease or condition to other parts of the body. The cancer was metastasizing, making treatment difficult. Minting, the process of making coins or currency. The minting of new coins required precision and accuracy. Nomenclature, a system or set of names or terms used in a particular field or discipline. The nomenclature of chemical compounds can be complex. Oblige, to require or constrain someone to do something as a moral or legal duty. The law may oblige citizens to pay taxes. Outbreak, the sudden occurrence of a disease, often in a specific geographic area. An outbreak of flu led to widespread illness. Oversight, supervision, management, or monitoring of a process or activity. The project's success was due to careful oversight. Painless, free from or causing no pain. The surgery was painless, thanks to modern anesthesia. Pediatricians, doctors who specialize in the medical care of infants, children, and adolescents. Pediatricians play a crucial role in children's health. Peril, serious and immediate danger or risk. The hikers were in peril when they got lost in the wilderness. Pernicious, having a harmful or destructive effect, often in a subtle or gradual way. The pernicious influence of addiction can ruin lives. Pertinently, in a manner that is relevant or applicable to a particular matter. Her comments were pertinently related to the discussion. Phase, a distinct period or stage in a process or development. The project is entering its final phase of completion. Plague, a highly contagious and often deadly infectious disease. The bubonic plague had devastating effects in the past. Poise, graceful and elegant composure in one's demeanor. She walked with poise and confidence on the stage. Prevalence, the state of being widespread or common in a particular area or among a group. The prevalence of smartphones has changed communication. Proactive, taking action to anticipate or prevent problems or difficulties. A proactive approach can lead to better outcomes. Propose, to suggest or put forward an idea, plan, or solution. She decided to propose a new project at the meeting. Purpose, the reason for which something is done or created. The purpose of the research was to find a cure for the disease. Quoting, citing someone's words or a reference in a written or spoken context. He was quoting a famous author in his speech. Rampant, widespread and uncontrolled, often in a negative or harmful way. Corruption was rampant in the government. Ramping, the act of ascending or increasing in intensity. The ramping up of production led to higher profits. Rationalism, a philosophical belief in the importance of reason and rational thinking. Rationalism emphasizes the role of logic in understanding the world. Reciprocating, alternating or moving back and forth in a reciprocal manner. The reciprocating motion of the piston drives the engine. Repertoire, the range or collection of skills, techniques, or behaviors possessed by a person. Her musical repertoire included various genres. Repulse, to drive back or repel with force. To reject or disgust, the soldiers managed to repulse the enemy attack. Reservoir, a natural or artificial place where something is collected and stored. The reservoir supplied water to the entire city. Residing, living or staying in a particular place. The family had been residing in the same house for generations. Retrospect, looking back on or reviewing past events or situations. In retrospect, he realized his mistake. Rhetorical, relating to or concerned with the art of effective communication. Her speech was filled with rhetorical devices. Rigorous, thorough and accurate, demanding precision and strictness. The scientific study underwent rigorous testing. Rise, to move upward or become higher in position or level. The sun began to rise over the horizon. Sanctum, a sacred or private place, often used for religious or spiritual purposes. The inner chamber of the temple was a sanctum. Scavenging, searching for discarded or leftover items, often for survival. Scavenging for food became necessary in the post-apocalyptic world. Scavenging animal, an animal that primarily feeds on the remains of dead animals. Vultures are scavenging animals that help clean up carcasses. Serve, to perform duties or provide a service. He chose to serve his community through volunteer work. Skyrocketing, increasing rapidly and dramatically, often referring to prices or numbers. The cost of housing in the city has been skyrocketing. Slang, informal language, often specific to a particular group or subculture. Teenagers often use slang words that adults may not understand. Sleek, smooth and glossy in appearance. Modern and stylish. The sports car had a sleek and aerodynamic design. Spiracle, a small opening in the body of certain insects and arachnids used for respiration. Spiracles allow insects to exchange gases with the environment. Stages, distinct phases or steps in a process or development. The project is progressing through its various stages. Statehood, the condition of being a recognized and sovereign state. The country achieved statehood after years of struggle. Steamy, full of steam or characterized by a high level of heat and humidity. The sauna became steamy after pouring water on the rocks. Stroll, a leisurely walk often taken for enjoyment or relaxation. They went for a stroll in the park on a sunny afternoon. Sublime, of such excellence, grandeur, or beauty as to inspire great admiration. The view from the mountaintop was absolutely sublime. Subsidizing, providing financial assistance or support, often from the government. The government was subsidizing renewable energy projects. Summit, the highest point or peak of a mountain or hill. Climbing to the summit of Mount Everest is a challenging feat. Tease, to make fun of or provoke someone in a playful or taunting manner. He liked to tease his little sister by hiding her toys. Toddler, a young child who is just learning to walk and is typically between 1 and 3 years old. The toddler took his first steps. Tolerate, to accept or allow something that one may not necessarily like or agree with. The manager couldn't tolerate tardiness among employees. Transcend, to rise above or go beyond the limits or expectations. His music had the power to transcend cultural boundaries. Transfusions, the process of transferring blood or its components from one person to another. The patient required multiple transfusions during surgery. Triumph, a great victory or achievement, often resulting from a struggle. Their triumph in the championship game was celebrated widely. Truancy, the act of staying away from school without permission. Truancy rates dropped significantly after the new attendance policy. Tug, to pull something with a sharp or sudden movement. The tug-of-war game was a test of strength. Underachievement, failing to perform at a level expected based on one's abilities or potential. The students' underachievement concerned the teachers. Uptake, the process of taking in or absorbing something. The plant's uptake of nutrients from the soil is crucial for growth. Vow, a solemn promise or commitment, often made in a formal ceremony. They exchanged vows during their wedding ceremony. Vulnerability, the state of being susceptible to harm or damage. Cybersecurity measures aim to reduce vulnerability to attacks. Weather, the state of the atmosphere at a particular place and time, including temperature, precipitation, and wind conditions. The weather forecast predicts rain tomorrow. Weather, expressing a condition of uncertainty or possibility. I'm not sure whether I can attend the event.